መቼ ነው የተደራደረው? መጣው እኮ ነው መስመር ያስቀመጡልን አይደለም እንዴ? ሲቆምም ብዙ ውይይት የለበትም። ለምሳሌ የጎንደር ህዝብ እና ሐውልቱ አርሲ ውስጥ ነው ያለው። የአርሲን ህዝብ ሄዳችሁ ስለ ሐውልቱ አነጋግራችሁ ታውቃላችሁ? የአርሲ ህዝብ ስለእናንተ ኤክስፕሌን አድርጎ ያውቃሉ ወይ? ሁሉም በየውይይት ሳይደረግ ሲሪየስ ዲስኮርስ በተለይ የሂስቶሪካል ሚሞሪ ጉዳይ ጊዜ ቢኖረኝና በስፋት ብንወያይ ደስ ይለኝ ነበር። ሂስቶሪካል ሚሞሪ ጉዳይ በጥንቃቄ ሊያዝ ይገባል። በጥንቃቄ በሰፊ ውይይት ሊካሄድ ይገባል። ሰዎች ይጨራረሳሉ። እኔ እንደ ሀገር ነበር። ሁሉም በየውይይት ሳይደረግ ሲሪየስ ዲስኮርስ በተለይ የሂስቶሪካል ሚሞሪ ጉዳይ ጊዜ ቢኖረኝና በስፋት ብንወያይ ደስ ይለኝ ነበር። ሂስቶሪካል ሚሞሪ ጉዳይ በጥንቃቄ ሊያዝ ይገባል። በጥንቃቄ በሰፊ ውይይት ሊካሄድ ይገባል። ሰዎች ይጨራረሳሉ። እኔ እንደ በጥንቃቄ ሊያዝ ይገባል። በጥንቃቄ ባስቀመጠው ማፕ ባስቀመጠው ባንዲራ ባስቀመጠው ምናምን ላይ መወያየቱ እኔ ኮንትሮቨርሲው መነሳቱ ሁሉም በየውይይት ሳይደረግ ሲሪየስ ዲስኮርስ በተለይ የሂስቶሪካል ሚሞሪ ጉዳይ ጊዜ ቢኖረኝና በስፋት ብንወያይ ደስ ይለኝ ነበር። ሂስቶሪካል ሚሞሪ ጉዳይ በጥንቃቄ ሊያዝ ይገባል። ጥንቃቄ በሰፊ ውይይት ሊካሄድ ይገባል። ሰዎች ይጫ
Well, that's funny he said that. History, ታሪክ በጥንቃቄ መያዝ ይገባል ብሏል ሰውየውና. So let's go back to history. It says this is the CIA report. This is the daily briefing to the US president in March 12, 1975. Okay? Continuing, so on that briefing, declassified in part, and it says, this was declassified 2016, and it was released, and it says, I'll make it so that you can see it clearly. Ethiopian government forces and rebels continue to engage in scattered clashes. A sizable government force is continuing sweep operation about 10 miles north of Asmara and fighting with air support for government troops has been reported in the western Eritrea. In Shawa province, where Addis Ababa is located, so this is the point I want to stress. In this USA President daily briefing in 1975, March 1975, it says, in Shoa province, where Addis Ababa is located, dissidents from the Gala, doesn't say Oromo, it says Gala tribe reportedly staged raids recently along each of the three main roads leading to west and north from the capital. Okay? Jawar Mohammed said ታሪክ በጥንቃቄ መያዝ አለበት ስላለ, this is not too long ago, 1975, okay? 1975. Addis Ababa is reported to be in Shawa province, and the Oromo people are referred to as Ganla by the country, the most powerful country in the world. Okay, and this is the CIA. This is a CIA report. Okay. As far as map, Dabub Wallo, Men's Kaya Gabriel, Men's Lalo Midr, Men's Gera, Men's Mama Midr, ይላል እንግዲህ አሁን እዚህ ላይ ፎከስ ያደረኩት ነገር ለምንድን ነው ቢባል ስለዚህ ሀገር ታሪክ መጀመሪያ በቅርብ ጊዜ በጣሊያን ጊዜ የተደረገውን ነገር ማየት ይኖርብናል። Okay, historical overview of Italo-Shoan relation. Most of European countries that have historical relations with Ethiopia include Britain, France, Italy, and Portugal. Each European country had developed an imperialist interest in Africa, and by 1899 all Ethiopia's neighboring countries were under the rule of Britain, France, and Italy. The relations of Ethiopia and these European powers were initially friendly and respectful, and later would be changed into colonialism. In this regard, among other countries, the interest of Italy seemed to be the strongest. Italo-Shoan relations had officially started with the coming to show up of the Italian Geographical Society Mission Geographic Study Team under Antinori in 1969. That's the thing. In 1876, King Minilik II, or later Emperor Minilik II of Ethiopia, gave a site named Late Marafia in Shawa to the Italians. Italy, however, used the place for its own colonial interest rather than peaceful relation. The place helped the Italians to further collect data and to accomplish their mission in the name of research and academics. The hidden mission, similar to those of European countries, of Italy was to colonize Ethiopia and to establish empire in the Horn of Africa. Prior to the signing of Wuchale Treaty, the immediate cause of the First Italo-Ethiopian War at the Battle of Adwa, two peaceful and friendship treaties were made between King Minilik and Italy. In 1882 or 3, an Italian envoy, Count Antonelli, and the King Menelik of Shawa, later Emperor Menelik II of Ethiopia, signed a treaty of commerce and friendship. In this agreement, both were agreed upon free movement of people and free trade. Nonetheless, it became clear that Italy wished to expand and link its holding in the Horn of Africa. Italy started the expansion by violating the Hewlett Treaty and occupied coastal areas and continued into Marab Malash. As a result, the 10th governor of Marab Malash, Ras Alula Ngida, also known as Abba Naga, warned the Italians to clear out of the Ethiopian regions. However, the Italians were not willing to leave out the regions because they have colonial interest in the Horn of Africa. For Italians, in this case, colonizing Ethiopia meant laying down the base to colonial Horn of Africa. Finally, Italy was defeated by the Ethiopian forces at the Battle of Dogali. After the Battle of Dogali, Italy needs the support of King Minilik of Shawa more than he needs theirs. Even Italy wanted Minilik to fight Emperor Johannes fifth from the south. However, King Menelik was not willing to fight against Johannes. The Italians wanted his neutrality in the event of war with Johannes. As a result, King Menelik of Shawa agreed to the Convention of Neutrality in October 1887. In this agreement, the Italy promised not to take an inch of land in Ethiopia. The friendly relationship between Menelik and Italy reached its apex in the end of the 19th century with the signing of Ujal Treaty, which is the immediate cause of the First Italo-Ethiopian War. May 2, 1889, this treaty can be seen as an attempt to conquer Ethiopia diplomatically. The content of the Treaty of Ujale had two versions, Amharic and Italian versions. The treaty contains 20 articles, but the most important articles, in terms of their relevance and cause of conflict to the First and Second Italo-Ethiopian War, was Article 3 and 17. Article 3 of the Ujali Treaty was about boundary demarcation. Article 17 was related with foreign relations and policy. At the end, Article 17 of Ujali Treaty had different meaning. In Italian, the treaty stated that Ethiopia was obliged to conduct all foreign affairs through Italian authorities, in effect making Ethiopia an Italian uh, proto protector protectorate, while the Amharic version merely gave Ethiopia the option to communicate with third powers through the Italians. Thus, the treaty obliged Ethiopia to handle her foreign affairs through Italy officials, and it meant creating a de facto protector, protectorate over Ethiopia. This article may be viewed as a wax and gold. This treaty clearly shows the imperialist and colonialist ambition of Italy over Ethiopia. Finally, in October 1889, Italy notified the major powers of Europe that Ethiopia had become her protectorate against um, this where is continuing against again uh, this shows her Italy commitment of the implementation of the Berlin Conference. The genesis of the Second Italo-Ethiopian War. On October 3rd, 1935, the Second Italo-Ethiopian War, also referred to as the Second Italo-Ethiopian War, began when Italian forces crossed into the territory of present-day Ethiopia. The Italians came 40 years later, both to erase the shameful scar of their defeat at the Battle of Adwa, fought on March 1st, 1896. They were determined to restore the glory of the old Roman Empire. Fascist Party was highly dedicated in restoring Roman glory. Tension between the countries dated to at least 1887 when Italy first invaded Ethiopia. Italian forces were being defeated by Ethiopia at the Battle of Adwa on March 1st, 1896. The victory of Adwa over Adwa resulted criticism of the Italian government and brought widespread public demonstration. It also forced Italy to recognize the absolute independence of Ethiopia and accepted the cancellation of the Wuchale Treaty, which established de facto protectorate. Moreover, the Battle of Adwa shows the victory of black people over the whites, and it becomes a symbol of black dignity and self-rule. However, with the coming power of fascist leader Benito Mussolini, Italy wanted to take revenge and restore its glory. The Italians under Benito Mussolini were determined to have Ethiopia as their colony and make it pay for the humiliating defeat it had inflicted upon them at the Battle of Adwa in 1896. Moreover, this incident and a desire to acquire a larger colonial presence motivated the Italian decision to attack in 1835. With the bitter memories of their defeat at the Battle of Adwa in 1896, 40 years earlier, the Italians were determined to succeed uh, this time around and used all means at their disposal to the extent of committing atrocity and war crimes, employing prohibited weapons like poison gas. Italian forces had more modern military equipment than the Ethiopian forces, and Italy also possessed tanks and a large, more sophisticated air force. The Ethiopian forces, under the overall command of the Emperor Haile Selassie, had largely outdated equipment that included rifles and artillery, but most Ethiopian soldiers were armed with a traditional weaponry, especially spears. Italian forces entered Addis Ababa, the capital of Ethiopia, in May 5th, 1936. Consequently, this incident leads to the 5-year Italy occupation and bitter patriotic resistance. Thus, spontaneous uprising and protracted guerrilla resistance campaign began in most part of Ethiopia within the first year of Italian rule. In defiance of the ensuing occupation, Ethiopians became involved in a multi-dimensional patriotic resistance to drive the invaders out of their country. Aragawi Berhi, Italian rule faced considerable and organized resistance. According to Sbahi, as cited in Sarpo Dima Nogo in 2009, organized Ethiopian resistance forces were estimated at between 100,000 to 300,000, the lower estimate given by Italian source and the higher estimate by Ethiopian and British source, according to him. Mussolini and Marshal Badoglio were reported to have estimated that it would require at least 20 years to pacify Ethiopia and eliminate all armed resistance through the Italian public, though the Italian public was said to be more skeptical and thought that half of a century would be needed to accomplish that task. In 1935 to 36, Italian fascist invasion and subsequent occupation of Ethiopia were accompanied by enormous atrocity, the use of mustard gas, and the execution of captured prisoners without trials, the killing of Debre Libanos monastery, and massacre. Okay, so now this is where it starts. The history of the Mens, okay, the historical and culture of Zaret Mens. Mens, also spelled Mens, previously Menzihel, the historical province of an Amara area of about 150 square miles, located in the present day of northern Shawa, because he was asking about Samin Shawa, Jawar Mohammed. So, North Shawa of Amara regional state, particularly in the northeast horn of North Shawa. The place is characterized by high plateau, over 300,000 meters over sea level, surrounded by dramatic basalt cliff and carved out by deep ravine and canyon, according to Pro Donald. Mens lies on a broad plateau. You can see all that. Okay, but in the right, so basically it's a quotation from a Pro Donald. Okay, I'm not gonna read that part. But in current administration, Mens is divided into 5 broad districts, namely Mens Gara in the center and its capital Mahal Meda, Mens Mama in the south and its capital is Wagari, Mens Lalo in the southwest and its capital Molali, Mens Gishe in the northeast and its capital is Gishe. Mens Kaya in the northeast, where Zaret is located, and the name of the capital is Zamaro. The boundaries of Mens proper include Mofar River in the south and Adabai River in the west, and the Wenchit River in the north, east, and Jimma River. Mens previously Manzihil is inhabited by Amara peasants. They are Orthodox Christians with figured among the most conservative believers in Ethiopia. The Men's Amara adheres to a strong ethos and bravely and systematically resist foreign influence. Even they also resist modern education, and most of them resist sending their children to government school because of the feeling that these schools are tainted by their connects with the culture and heathen foreigners. The father of Emperor Menelik II, Haile Melekot, the founder of modern Ethiopia and the victor over the Italians at Adwa in 1896, was from this area. So he was from Mens, by the way. Menelik, the father of Menelik. Again, the father of Emperor Haile Selassie was also from Mens, particularly from Doba near Zaret. The Mens Amhara thus say that their country is Ya'amara Minch and Yenegus Hagar, king's country, the source of the Amara people in the land of kings. You see the quotation. Moreover, the Menzi or Mens implies Melau, meaning all, Nugusawi, which means they are the direct descendant of King Menelik I, the grandchildren of the Queen Saba, and King Solomon of Israel. In this regard, the local people Mens reiterate oral poetry and evoke the lineage of Menelik I, as you can see, the lineage. Yeah, I just zoom in on that. Okay. Okay, so the location and all that, and then what I wanted to really, and then this is a picture of it where we were attacked. Okay, now if you can see this, Ethiopian men, women, and children, including 30,000 massacred in only 3 days in Addis Ababa, as well as the reprisal killings of the entire monastery community at the historical Debre Libanos monastery. In addition, 2,000 churches and 525,000 homes were destroyed by Italian fascists. However, the massacre that was happened in Amsterdam Washa was not documented. In 1936, the Italian banned any reference to Shawa, which was a distasteful reminder of their defeat at Adwa. In the 5 years Italian occupation and patriotic resistance, Showa became the center of anti-imperialistic Italy, according to oral informants. A few months following the fall of the capital to the enemy, many men did join the guerrilla fighters of Ashawa and performed bravely, particularly in and after 1939. In this regard, Amsterdam Washa was one of the places where the inhabitants of Mens were massacred by Italy. Amsterdam Washa, some call it the Cave of Zaret, is the place where Italian troops massacred a large guerrilla groups during the 5-year Italy occupation, particularly in 1939. Amsterdam Washa was the place of refuge of a large guerrilla group that was massacred by the Italian authorities. It is found in Mens Gabriel district near Nazareth. In 1939, the people who inhabited Mens southern Wallo province and Jiru rebelled against the imperialist Italy rule and continued fighting against the imperialists until the liberation of Ethiopia in 1941 with the British military support. The leader of the rebel group were Ras Ababa Aragai, later became the prime minister of the Jazmat Tashoma, according to Bishao Tasamma. An eye witnessed the villagers who had taken refuge from the burning and pillaging of their home were more than 2,500. According to Matthew Dominioni, he was the one who has studied in depth